Using the payment medium configuration transaction, select the format that is going to be redirected to SAP FSN, like this SEPA credit transfer here. Enhance the description if desired, like adding via SAP FSN, and then access detail level information for the selected format. Reconfigure the payment medium without documents to be forwarded to the SAP FSN connector, and then save your entries. Access the house bank configuration transaction. Select the house bank to be incorporated to SAP FSN and go to the Details screen. Accessing the house bank data, it is possible to see the control data, which can be reused for SAP FSN. Furthermore, the Data Medium Exchange section also contains a customer number, which is the primary identification used by SAP FSN, if available, to recognize the SAP ERP corporate customer in front of the bank. Going down to accounts level, it is possible to finally review or customize what accounts are part of a new SAP FSN bank. Accounts payable receives an invoice and checks with Treasury to avoid any non-sufficient funds error. So Treasury checks the SAP Bank Share Money account, including the reconciliation information, where a total of €1,000 is available for payments. In order to create the invoice, we are going to use the invoice creation transaction. Specify the vendor, the invoice date, and finally, the total amount, which is going to be €100. Then switch to payment data. Start by selecting the payment method. This time, we are going to use a SEPA credit transfer via SAP FSN. Now the bank selection takes place. This is normally a simple determination running behind the scenes, but now with SAP FSN it gets more dynamic. Then the GR and I information is filled up in order to post the invoice to the system. A simple validation takes place. Everything is correct, so it gets finally posted. After the invoice is created, a payment run collects all pending invoices and creates the payment medium that is sent to SAP FSN. Specify the payment run date and a free identification. Fill up basic parameters, starting by company code, to determine the payment methods supported. Then, select the desired payment method from the list. Today, we're going to use the SEPA credit transfer via SAP FSN to process the invoice recently created. Fill up the next payment run date, and finally, restrict the run to our vendor only. Save and go back. Now, after the parameters are complete, a proposal is scheduled to determine in advance the future payment run results. Request the system to start immediately and execute. Once the proposal is finished, display it and control the results. Two open items exist. The first one is not ready to be paid and the second was successfully added to the payment. It is for SAP Bank Germany using the payment method that is in turn going through SAP FSN and is actually the invoice previously created. Now it's time to create a payment document based on the proposal, select payment run, request the system to start immediately and also create the medium to be used by SAP FSN connector. Refresh. The payment run also ends successfully and creates one document and the corresponding medium. Accessing the payment log, it is possible to see the payment medium format, the medium created, and other details as well. At this moment, the SAP FSN connector starts processing the medium and forwarding to SAP FSN. Treasury validates the payment document is generated updating the SAP Bank Germany position, which was initially €1,000 and now 900. Executing the GL account balance and selecting the appropriate variant for the bank shows that the invoice transformed into a payment is automatically subtracting from our bank account even before receiving the bank statement. Going to individual account level, for example for AP reconciliation, shows the €100 invoice is still waiting for reconciliation. On the other hand, the real bank account still shows 1,000. The Accounts Payable department also wants to monitor the payment status. Running the GL account line item report and using a variant for open reconciliation items shows the payment is still in process and pending in the SAP Bank Germany reconciliation account. Every now and then, Treasury controls bank statement processing to make sure movements are not rejected. SAP FSN provides the best real-time direct integration with all banks, no matter the technology used. Starting the monitoring report restricted to the involved company code and SAP Bank Germany for today, it is possible to see all the accounts, files received, and transactions as well. Transaction level information shows the bank account movement details, remittance data, and the documents generated in the SAP ERP. The account document, which is the actual payment execution, clears the reconciliation account and subtracts the amount from the bank account. Item level information shows the line item assignment corresponding to the payment documents generated and subsequently cleared by this bank transaction. In order to monitor payment status at AP level, the payment not cleared report is started again, selecting the pending variant and starting the process shows that no pending items are found. but switching the selection conditions from open items to cleared items, it is possible to see the €100 payment is successfully finished. It is even possible to see the reconciliation document used to clear the payment and the assignment number as shown before. It is possible to monitor the complete processing from within the SAP ERP, since the document is created until the results are posted in the SAP ERP again, all going through SAP FSN and the involved bank. The SAP FSN connector provides a monitor for this purpose. Let's start by checking the payment run log. We can find and copy the transmission medium document name from the log. Then we start the monitor and select this file. In the list of outgoing files, we see the message created based on the medium. Also, using the display function, the system navigates to the web service runtime monitor, showing the transmission and status details. Back to the monitor, it is also possible to see the item details, including, for example, the sender ID configured in the house bank and information on the transport level processing status. In the selection screen again, let's take a look at the messages received today. Coming to upstream, it is possible to see different messages and the one recently received as successfully processed. It is possible to see the payload and navigate to the processing log to determine the background process in charge of posting the statements. Go into the background monitoring transaction, specify the shove, and access the spool files to analyze how the bank transactions are processed and converted into SAP ERP financial documents.